rest. Everybody wants to sing it and raises the roof. And it's got to be the final song at the end of the night, really. It's got to be the icing on the cake right at the end of the show, where you've got everybody in the palmy round, you do Angels, and it's time to say goodnight, God bless. You leave them on that high.
There's a time in the late 90s when that song was like the national anthem, wasn't it, or like a school hymn, and every single poll that happened for the best song ever, or was you played at your funeral, Angels, it seemed compulsory. In the way it used to be in the 70s, compulsory for Bohemian Rhapsody to win everything, suddenly Angels had to win every single poll. And that's the thing when Robbie Williams went from being this kind of mildly diverting ex-boy band member, being a middling pop star, to being this complete phenomenon, this complete superstar.
If you were going to make a party CD in 20 years' time, the greatest party songs ever, you would probably put Let Me Entertain You on it. And you'd probably put it as track 1.
When the guitar and the piano kicks in right at the intro, it grabs you, especially when the chorus kicks in. It's the electricity of the song, you want to bounce with it and go with it, and it really just brings everybody alive. And it's a great classic opener.
It was quite a rocky song, and obviously he's got all his Kiss makeup on in the video as well. And it's just an unexpected song, and it just sounds so completely different from anything else that he's done and anything that you're expecting him to do. But I think that's part of its appeal, because it has this very different sound. So of course it's appealing to a different market as well. And I think really that he was starting to get a bit worried, you know, about, well, I don't really want to be appealing to everyone's mums. Let's put something out which is going to, you know, maybe appeal to younger generation.
To an extent, he wants to create that effect that that he is, you know, kind of old school rock and roll, and that this is a big, you know, party anthem that's going to be his signature tune for years to come. But it's actually not that similar at all to a sort of typical glam rock tune, in that it's not based in heavy distorted guitar riffs. It actually has a piano riff, which is its main theme, which is actually sort of more like an early 90s dance, you know, commercial dance sort of track, which just goes like this.
I've seen like 5-year-old kids singing that and bouncing up and down, and I've also seen you know, people stripping to that song, shall we say. You know, it's one of those songs, it's basically, I am going to entertain you.
It's supposed to be the song that he's going to open live at Nebworth with, and it's the song that really people identify with Robbie as the consummate entertainer.
You go and see one of his concerts and you'll be overwhelmed. The excitement and the buzziness. He brings a lot more to the show than most people do. He said himself in an interview, you know, because he does all these grand gestures and dance moves and the Parte with the audience where you get bands just playing guitar, which is great, but he's his own unique package, you see. So you go there not only to listen to great music, but you're going to get there on the night to be entertained first class as well.
He is a fantastic entertainer, and that is really the core of why people love him, I think. All the mess and all the self-loathing and all the egotistical stuff, and just wipe that away. The reason why people love Robbie is because he's an entertainer. He is a great live performer, and it's another example of a great pop song, I think.
It was like capturing the essence of Robbie, which is this very sort of cheeky chappy, and putting it into songs. And you didn't really hear that full essence come out until the second album.
Well, first of all, I think the title of the album, I've Been Expecting You, tells us a lot about Robbie. He knows all along that he's going to make it. He's got this belief that he's going to do it. It's only you, the other people, that doubt him. Well, now you're all on board, I've Been Expecting You. It's a great title.
essentially it's the formula that he established in Life Through a Lens, which is basically a big volcanic personality that is absolutely evident on every single track, even if there are only really a few that are worthy of being standout singles. And within those few, there's always the power ballad, there's always the party one, and there's always the slightly more vulnerable one. So I think the second album reflects the first one in that respect.
I think Millennium, it is a different song from a lot of the other songs on the album. And he is sort of almost saying, I don't have to just do ballads, I can do other songs as well. And of course it was a big hit. And it's got those slightly tongue-in-cheek vocals again, the lyrics, you know, the lyrics that are going to make you smile, because he sings about things like live for liposuction and things like that. Who else would write those kind of lyrics? You know, there is nobody else that would put those words into essentially a pop song.
Live for liposuction and detox for your rent. Overdose at Christmas and give it up for Lent.
It's probably the party anthem equivalent to Let Me Entertain You off the second album. It's slightly more experimental in that he's prepared to sort of cover a Nancy Sinatra song that was made famous by a James Bond film. It definitely shows that Robbie Williams, if he hasn't got an ear for a blinding songcraft and you know, really, really innovative, groundbreaking music, then he is definitely shrewd enough to know precisely the best combination of music and pop culture to achieve a record that's going to be successful. I think it is a tried and tested formula, but I think it's slightly more mature and it's slightly more calculated and deliberate as well. And it's especially important that he introduces his slightly more vulnerable side in the second album, which is going to become a theme of his career, really.
Tell me a story where we all change, and we live our lives together, but not as strange. I didn't lose my mind, it was mine to give.
I was really disappointed by No Regrets, because I think after Angels, that was such a huge single and a huge moment in Robbie's career, and for any Robbie fan. It was going to be so tough to follow that up. How does anybody do that? You know, you go to a Robbie concert and everybody's waiting for Angels. It's the biggest moment. And so whatever the song was going to be, even Millennium, which was a big one for him, or Let Me Entertain You, even they would have struggled, and they still do up against Angels. So No Regrets to me, I think a slightly dull offering, but only by comparison to Angels.
No Regrets is a strong compositional effort from Robbie Williams, and I think importantly it's the first that we see of his sort of unapologetically emotional side, and the first that we see of his slightly self-deprecating, I'm a bit of a tortured soul, but I can laugh at myself and cry at myself equally.
No Regrets is a song that's got so many different elements of what makes up Robbie Williams. It's got these sort of very tongue-in-cheek lyrics. I mean, you cannot listen to that song without just smiling a little bit. And it does seem to be, you know, I've got no regrets leaving Take That, I've got no regrets going solo, I'm doing all right, thank you very much. And it's just one of these songs that it just shows off so much of who Robbie Williams is and what his music is all about.
Nearly all Robbie's songs are autobiographical to some degree, because he is the greatest subject matter that he knows, and his fellow songwriters know. Okay, my breath smells of 1,000 fags, and when I'm drunk I dance like my dad. Now that is just a fantastic line. He's won us straight away. Basically, he's a superstar, but immediately he's coming down to our level.
My breath smells of 1,000 fags, but when I'm drunk I dance like my dad. Started to again. Early morning when I wake up, I look like Kiss but without the makeup.
And you know, because my life's a mess. And I'm trying to grow, so before I'm old, I'll confess. You think that I'm strong, you're wrong. So he's admitting to weaknesses there. Because, you know, even though he's a superstar, he's not without his faults. Life's too short to be afraid, so take a pill to numb the pain. You don't have to take the blame. I think that's a nod, basically, to his addictions to antidepressants, basically, to numb the pain of all the things he's feeling. But that's a sort of coming to terms with who I am song. So I don't think it gets much more autobiographical than that.
So that's just really basic building blocks of songwriting. So you've got the tonic, which is B flat, and you've got the second chord E flat major, which is a 4 chord, which again is fairly straightforward. Back again, and back again. Then you move to 2 minor, then the 5th chord, and then 1. So essentially, that's all fairly straightforward.
She's the One is another one of those ballads that Robbie does, and you know, ballads are always going to be popular, and obviously the topic of the song as well, She's the One, again, it's going to mean so many different things to so many different people. It is going to be one of these songs that, you know, women are going to like because they're going to think, oh, she's the one, she's talking about me, you know, somehow they're communicating through the song. But at the same time, it's a song that will apply to blokes as well.
If you take the 2 comparable ballads from Life Through a Lens and I've Been Expecting You, which is She's the One and Angels, they're both starting the same way, which is with vocals and piano, and they build up and layers gradually get added in. Like the drums come in about a minute in to each. You hear the rest of the band come in, bass and guitar, and then by the 3.5 minutes, 4 minutes through the song, it's built up to a climax that's got a massive free-flowing string section in both songs, and above all of this is Robbie's voice soaring through it all. So yeah, that's the recipe for success for both of those ballads. In the first album, what they were striving to do is create a sound for Robbie Williams, which is sort of Britpop, and then the second album, sort of post-Britpop, mainly guitar-led, incorporating a few samples and just being a little bit more mature and thinking about things a little bit more. In the third album, I think they just